I am beyond excited to be sitting here talking to the future leaders of corporate. They are going to lead policy, they're going to lead law, they're going to lead creative, and I cannot wait to hear what they have to say about the future of corporate America. Let's get into it.
I'm Carson Thompson. I'm from Pittsburgh, PA, and my goal is to become a future attorney. My goal is to also just help a lot of Black women in this world that are not represented well in the law systems. In the world that we're in right now, I really want to create a future where we're all represented and marginalized communities are not struggling. And I aim to create just a better environment for that to happen.
I love that. I love that. What school do you go to?
Spelman College.
Okay, represent.
Yes.
All right. Zioni.
Yes, so my name is Yoni Yaboa Amankwa. I'm from DC, but I'm also from Ghana, so West African as well.
You know I'm Liberian, right?
Wow, look at that!
What's live?
And I'm studying economics at Spelman too, and yeah, I want to go corporate. I'm looking into international business, and just trying to pave the way as well for Black women in the corporate space, some way somehow. So yeah, slowly trying to get my way up there.
I love it. So you're at Spelman. So you didn't want to go to Howard?
So my mom went to Howard. She did Howard Med. But I wanted to kind of get out of DC for a little bit, and I think I wanted like more of a smaller community.
Yeah.
And Spelman being kind of, I feel like we're in a very tight knit area with Morehouse and Clark being right there too. But I wanted to just be in like a smaller environment for my undergraduate education.
Okay, we love to have you in Atlanta. We
Yes.
love it. All right, Gabriella, tell us about yourself.
Hello, I'm Gabriella Watkins. I'm a psychology major with a film and doc studies minor. I'm from Chicago, Illinois. And I think with my work, because I've kind of struggled with finding my path, I feel like what I want to do changes like every month,
That's all right.
which I love. It's very exciting. But right now, because I'm studying psychology, I kind of want to incorporate that with my film and doc studies minor, and to just kind of create films or documentaries that talk about Black mental health, because it's very underrepresented. I was also just thinking that I feel like seeking help is like discouraged. Like we're supposed to just kind of keep going, and like, we don't even have depression. We're just down, but we'll get back up.
Especially as Black women.
Especially as Black women.
Black women.
So I wanted to create like a representation of that. But besides that, I've been into NICU nursing. That's a new little niche of mine that I've been thinking about lately. So yeah, I'm interested in everything. I want to do everything.
I love it. And so you land on where you want to be. All right, I'll start with whoever wants to answer first. Corporate is
A game. I think you have to kind of learn how to play. That's kind of how it feels like. Yeah, learn how to speak in that language, learn how to navigate, learn how to ask questions, like who to ask questions to, where to put yourself. Even the interviews, it feels like kind of like a standardized testing. It's more about how do you know how to take the test? Do you know how to interview the way that they would want? And you can, obviously add your I think
Yeah.
you're yourself
Rethink.
into it.
Yeah.
But I think that there's a strategy that I've been learning doing interviews now for internship positions for the summer.
When you say it's a game, games are usually fun.
Mm-hmm.
Would you characterize it as a game you look forward to, or a game that feels stressful, a game you didn't ask to play?
It can definitely be stressful because you're wondering, just saying the wrong thing, and I feel like sometimes you kind of have to overperform in some way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Carson, what do you think? Corporate America is
Corrupt, I think.
Corrupt.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us more.
I would just go as far as saying it's corrupt because I feel like the system that is worked under just doesn't set a lot of people up for success a lot of times. It's a lot harder for people to get where they really want to be, especially for Black women, especially in our generation. But it shouldn't be as challenging, in my opinion, as it is. So that's why I would say it's corrupt.
When you say corrupt,
Mm-hmm.
you know, when I think about corruption, I think about governments.
Yes.
And I think about systems that are intentionally built to either keep a certain group out or continue to keep a certain group in intentionally. So do you feel like that corruption is intentional?
Yeah. I definitely think it is too.
You do?
Yeah.
Why, Gabriella?
Because I think it's not fit for everyone and it's not supposed to. It's kind of like a survival of the fittest. Like, have you ever seen Pursuit of Happiness with Will Smith?
I didn't want to watch it because it felt like it was going to be too sad.
It's a lot.
very depressing.
It's a lot. But it reminds me of that. Every time I think of corporate, I'm like, okay, Black man trying to make it, homeless with his kid. Like, it's not like you have to work for it. It's something that you have to keep trying. Like, you won't get every job with an interview. And like,
but
it's a lot of
just life? Is that corruption or is that just life?
I think it's the life that we've made it to be. I don't think that's what's supposed to be life. I feel like life is supposed to be fluid and free. And I feel like a lot of people choose that structure of corporate America because they want to have a backbone, of course, but also it's to filter out the people that they don't want. Which is a lot of marginalized groups of people, or people who don't have it all together, or can't even afford a suit and tie. Like, it's definitely for the people who are money focused. And it's training people to be money focused. I think people who don't even want to are like, well, this is the best job. You know, this is what my parents want me to do. So I feel like we do have a lot of creative and loose people, but America is, in a way, pressuring us to be a straight line, you know, and to come up and be structured and all put together, but like no one has it all put together. Not even the people interviewing you. So it's just like, it's a lot. It's a lot.
So to finish that sentence, corporate America is, what would you say, Gabriella?
I would say corporate America is, I think what comes to mind is broken. And I think there's a lot of beauty in corporate America. I don't think it's all bad, but I think it's just like you have to have an acquired taste for it. Not everyone is fit for it.
An acquired taste
very
is
much
a beautiful way to say it.
Yes.
That's a beautiful way to say it.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people in our generation, I don't know if you guys think this, but a lot of people are like, I don't see myself working a 9 to 5.
Yeah,
we don't.
that's very true.
Especially with Gen
just like
Z.
sitting at a desk all day. And I do think that a lot of it can be a pipeline to doing what you want to do later. And I think if you go about it in a more open-minded mindset, you can kind of tailor it to what you want to do with it. I think a lot of times people kind of just follow a path without thinking, you know, just like, you know, how people think college, get a job, you know, marriage and kids or something.
That's exactly right. It's almost like wake up, brush your teeth,
Yeah.
take a shower, put
Yeah.
your clothes on. I feel like that is the exact path,
And I
almost
think-
without thinking.
Exactly. And I think if you know, for example, a certain corporate job is not fit for you, like, for example, investment banking it's a great pay, but it's your whole like 24 hours almost, and you're doing 5 different tasks at the same time. If you know that you're a person who likes to focus on one thing, then don't do that job just because it makes more money.
Right.
You'll be miserable.
Right.
Right.
And if that's something you like to do, go ahead. But I think that you can definitely tailor your corporate journey to incorporate what you want it to look like, what you want your life to look like, and get the experience, get the skills that you need to then, do something else. Just do a whole 180 and do something else if you need to.
Ziani, I heard you say, and I love that point, that it doesn't have to be just this cookie cutter life you're stepping into. I heard you say it's a gateway or a path to doing what you want to do.
I think that's
How long do you think that path should be? So when I think about the gateway, my path has been a long path. The path has been lengthy. So how long, like in y'all's minds, like how long does it take to get to that place where you can do what you want to do?
I think that it depends on the person, and I think it depends on the plan that you've made for yourself and how early on you've seen it. And I think that there's no harm in not knowing particularly what you want to do right now. But I do think that further along the line, you begin to figure out, no, this space isn't for me. This space isn't for me. And I think that having the corporate background kind of shows people that you do have the credentials in order to do whatever you want to do, whether that's open a bakery and, manage your own company, or do a startup, or go into venture capital. I'm talking more about like finance side.
Right.
That's
of course, that's what you're focused on.
Yeah. But I think, if I think about my dad, for example, he did his undergraduate degree in engineering and then decided to go into consulting. And you don't have to necessarily choose, for example, like finance to get into that. You can look at it through different lenses. And the way he explained it to me is, listen, my degree shows me that I can look at a problem and provide solutions. And then that's what corporate is. You have problems and you have to look at it through different angles. And then you can kind of use that skill to apply it to whatever else you want to do later down the road, whether that's, film, or just being in finance, or going back to pursue higher education or something of that sort. So I think that it gives a good foundation, even if it's not particularly what you want to do right now. I think that's really with everything, like thinking about high school and how we all had to take SATs. I mean, I went to optional, but you can do that, and it's not necessarily something you love doing, but you can you show, listen, I do have this foundation and I'm pretty strong at it. And then you can be like, and I want to use the critical thinking and the analytical skills into something else that is more fit for me.
All the people with like, Gen Z's not disciplined.
If you only want to work 4 hours, it's going to be harder for you to get a house. We busted our behinds.
I think we're the most.
I think we're very disciplined.
Y'all are the most disciplined.
I think.
Okay, get into it.
You
Get
go ahead,
into it,
Carson.
Carson.
Well, I
Like,
feel
what?
like just how we were raised with social media, especially, like it makes you look at, what other people are doing. So it kind of makes you want to have a clear focus on like the trajectory that you want to partake in. And for me, at least, I feel like that is what makes me disciplined.
Gen Z. I think I'm X. What am I? X? Maybe. There is this trending rumor that Black women in corporate are not for Black Gen Z women. True, false, build on it. I'd love to hear your perspective. I don't know if you've heard this urban legend, if you have lived it, if you've heard people live it, or if you feel like that can't be the case because my experiences has not been that with older Black women. What say you, Gabby? You look like you have something to tell me.
Yes, you see it. Well, I've definitely worked in that kind of experience before, where it's kind of like it's really sly. Like you kind of think it's not real. You're like, are they out to get me? Do they secretly not like what I'm doing? Do they want me to be better? or are they critiquing me and kind of picking me apart because they're picking themselves apart? And I feel like because a lot of older Black women who are running things, they've taken a lot out of themselves to get to that place. And so when they see a fresh one starting, you know, they kind of get at you too. And sometimes it can be taken as disrespect, which it can be, definitely. But other times I do think it is out of genuine love. But it's really case by case. And I think it can be a disguise of just toxic relationships within the work field. And I think it's like there is an underlining, what's the word for it? There's definitely something that's just like not right because they're under pressure too. You know what I mean? Like they're being watched. And so they're watching you too. And I can see the stress with older Black women. But it's like, it can be coming at me in a way that's like, okay, you need to get it together or you won't survive kind of situation.
It's very much you know, from hearing other people's experiences and a little bit of mine, they want to challenge you. And it's kind of it's a little it just creates awkwardness.
Challenge in a good way or a bad way. So like if I think about challenging someone, I love being challenged. It's the delivery and how it lands. So tell me about the challenge piece.
I feel like it can come off in a bad way. Like, you know, because I also myself like to be challenged, but if it just comes off very insincere because they want you to not really like take their footsteps. They don't want you to take their place. So it's like they're like, oh, like, are you really up for this position? You know, because I've taken X amount of, you know, time to get here. And are you able to handle that? And it's just like, why are we fighting? Why are we, you know? So I feel like it can come off like that.
I genuinely feel like they're fearful and they're moving with like this anxiety. And it's like what Carson was saying, it's like a challenge. It's like who can make it out. And it's not like a jungle, you know what I mean? But it feels like it sometimes. Like it's like, are you coming at me or are you supporting me? I can't tell.
I think I've experienced both. Like this past summer, I worked at a business development firm in Ivory Coast, actually. And my manager was a Black woman, and she was one of the only Black women in the space. We were all Black. We were all Ghanaian or Ivorian in the office. And but her position was, I've seen it been undermined, even though she was the manager for the project, because even though some men were either like higher than her or at her level, they would still undermine her position.
Just because she was a woman.
Yes, at least to me, that's how it feels like. And the way I was raised, I'm always like on the lookout for things like this. And I think seeing me being also the youngest one there and the only intern at that place, she was definitely on me a lot more, making sure that I was doing everything that I needed to do in a timely manner and things like that. And I think it comes also from a place of wanting to look out for me in some way because she understands what it's like for your position to be undermined or your talent to be undermined.
So almost from a place of protection.
I think so. And I think too about my mother, for example, she's a physician. And even the way that she would, like when I was younger, help me with my homework and stuff, she's like, nobody's going to give you special treatment. You have to work hard because no one's going to just feel bad for you just because of this, that, and the other. And you kind of have to work for what you want in life. And I think that's like a good mentality to have. I don't think that you should think that people are going to just help you just because you're also, you know, like you're younger in a position. But I think at the same time, I've seen people, you know, particularly like other Black women. Like I have an aunt who is very successful in the corporate space, been a good mentor to me, like my aunt Tina Taylor. She's very successful, but she'll also tell me, no, you don't have to worry too much. Like, you know what you're talking about. You kind of have to tell yourself, you know what you're talking about. you know how to do things. You might not know all the questions, but might know all the answers, but that's good because you have questions. You're curious. It should be looked as a strength. And so I think that depending on the angle that other Black women take, it can either feel more uplifting and more like trying to protect you, even if it sounds a little bit harsh sometimes, like someone telling you no one's gonna protect, no one's gonna, help you or like rub your back. No, and like it could feel like, dang, but it's coming from a place of trying to get you shielded for the world, I think.
That's interesting. So it's almost like how you look at it is how you'll see it, maybe. And then I loved what you said, are these women, these Black women, wanting you to walk in their footsteps, or are they afraid you're going to take their place?
Right.
And so it's hard to discern. I think for you, Zioni, the good thing about the women you've encountered is they are family. And so the intention almost feels like it's clear what that intention is. I think what might have been happening in your case, Gabby, is that it's hard to kind of discern what that intention is. Is that right?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's just like, not even just from bosses, but also within family too, because they're older. I think a lot of older women feel like they are like literally looking down at you because they've gone so far. But it can come from just a place of like condescension and just like, I'm trying to be here for you. I'm just looking out for you and you're doing this and this is this. But it's like they are picking you apart in a way.
Which isn't necessary.
It's not necessary. Sometimes it's like disguised as hatred in a way. So I'm trying to keep myself grounded in that because I have been the youngest my whole life and I will be forever. But it's just like, because I come from that smaller place, I have grown to kind of like make my voice even louder. Because I'm all the way down here and y'all are all the way up here, I have to like yell to be heard. So I try not to let that overpower my relationships. But I have been practicing like speaking up for myself more and like taking those steps even in the workplace. Like, pay isn't great and the expectations are being risen. So there's something that has to be changed here, so it's like those little things are really important.
To also add to, I just feel like us as Black women, especially older Black women, like you always heard from a very young age that you have to work 10 times harder than
to get half as far.
Yeah. And that, I feel like that also creates tension when it comes to the older Black women with us as, the younger generation.
That's another great point, because the 10 times harder piece, and I'll just speak to y'all as an older Black woman, I think we probably did have to work 10 times harder. We didn't have the tools you had. So sometimes that perception that you're not working as hard is kind of misplaced because you have more tools. And so the things that took us longer to do, the places that took us longer to reach, it was because we didn't have as many tools. And so when you see someone kind of getting to where they need to be faster, you start to forget things are so different than they were before.
So different.
And the ability to speak up and speak your truth. I mean, this is the generation that has birthed political movements. And even in my time, I wasn't around with my parents when they saw all of the political upheaval and, civil rights. But this is the generation that marched for George Floyd and just really started to change policy.
Yeah.
And your voices are so powerful through social media. Like, you can look for someone missing and the whole world starts to look for that person. Like, there's just so much power in your voices now. And I think there's a gap. I don't know about millennial women. I can't speak on that, but for us, there can be a gap to say like, oh, wow, look at these women using their voice, using their power, talking about what they want, being poised, knowing who they are, not conforming, embracing who they are. And we didn't necessarily have that. And so for me, I'm proud of it. For me, when I see it, I'm inspired by it. My daughter's 19. I feel like she teaches me every single day something. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I wish I had that, but I'm so glad you have it.
Yeah.
But I think that's the gap. People don't realize things are so much different.
Yeah.
And you can get there a little bit faster without the struggle and the pain.
Right.
There are podcasts, there's so much learning. You all talk so much to each other. So I think that's the piece coming from maybe someone else's perspective. I admire it and honor seeing you all be so strong.
I would also say, I think that we forget that that's the goal. Like, it's not to just keep struggling and keep
Right.
We're not supposed to always
Like, why do I want you to struggle as much as I struggle?
Right.
Why is that some ritual where everyone must struggle? It's not.
It shouldn't be the case.
It's your fault. We didn't have those opportunities. It's not your fault. We didn't have the technology, the tools, the outlets to speak your mind. It's almost my daughter just talks to us and says whatever it is she has on her mind. Very open relationship. And if I looked at my relationship with my mother and compared her to me, I would say, well, I never would say that to my mother. I would never tell my mother those things. And that just perpetuates the same kind of quiet silence. And that's not what I wanted for her. So we should want more from you. But I hope you understand that sometimes it does come from a place of protection. We want you protected.
I'd say for me, like, I talk to my mother about everything. It's like quite serious. It's quite serious. So that's why I know when she says those hard things about, listen, no one, you need to learn how to make your education a priority. You need to learn how to be consistent in your work, consistent in your relationships and things like that. That it's coming from a place of love and not as a way to diminish me or make me feel smaller, but in a way to really help me get that fire like on my own, so that when I'm alone, when I'm out the house, I can continue that and not feel like I'm relying on her to do that.
All right, last question. Okay. So we all know Gen Z has made it very clear what they want. They want their wellness. Right? They want their psychological safety. Am I right? Right? They want to be able to show up authentically. Yes? All right. So the range of authenticity, depending on who is viewing that authenticity, can be subjective and quite broad. So what are, I would say, non-negotiables for you when you walk into a corporate space? Could someone say, you know what, Gabby, you must do A, B, C, and you're like, okay, I can conform a little bit. Or they say, you either do this, and you're like, nope, I will not do this. What is that range of acceptability in terms of your authentic self? Like, what's the percentage of authenticity you want to take to work? What's that percentage?
I think it would probably be, I want to say 90%.
Oh,
because I want to go big. I want to go big because I feel like that brings a different approach to every situation. And I feel like when you're your most authentic self, you're able to bring new ideas, create literally movies, literally like these big inventions are from authenticity. So I feel like that's definitely very important. But I also think understanding your environment and being able to adapt, like don't just barge into a room and be like, I'm going to be myself. You know, it's like you kind of have to move with it. It's like a flow. So I think that's really important to remember to be yourself and to take care of yourself, but don't let it like, you know, shield you from your ideas and speaking up, like I was saying before. But I think like something that I can't have negotiated is very bare minimum, very simple. It's just my health. Like I will prioritize eating when I need to, you know what I mean? And I feel like in my previous job, I have to eat before going to work. I can't eat while I'm on work or anything like that. And it's like, during hours that I would eat, you know what I mean? Like my normal eating time periods is when I work. So it's like, how do I balance that? How do I take care of myself while also showing up for work and doing my job that I need to do without breaking that barrier, that expectation? So it's just like when it comes to if I'm feeling okay, I can't do my best if I'm not feeling okay.
Right.
And I think my boss wants me to be able to do my best. So wouldn't she want me to be okay?
Right,
You know? So I think a lot of that is like balancing both of it and being able to make sacrifices. Like I might have to be hungry today, but I will eat. I know that I'm hungry.
You're like non-negotiable. Like
Yeah.
my health.
Yeah,
Okay,
my
so health
health.
and wellness is
Yeah.
non-negotiable.
Yeah.
All right, Zioni.
For a non-negotiable, I would say a space that does not welcome new ideas or a global perspective. I mean, I grew up half of my life living in Johannesburg, South Africa, and I went to a French school, a French international school. So I have been around different types of people, religions, skin color, languages, like my entire life, and I see the value of it.
Yes.
And I don't think that that's something that I would want to give up, because I think that if you are, Carson was kind of saying this earlier, but if you're always around the same people who think the same way and who have experienced the same things, you're not necessarily growing, you're not necessarily open to, the world is going to continue to change. People are going to continue to adapt. So if you're still stuck in that bubble, you know, I don't want to be in an area where they are stuck in that bubble when I'm very easily like adaptable or open to change or open to understanding new ideas, new perspectives. And I think the only way you can do that is by incorporating Black women, particularly just any minority group and people from different backgrounds and things of that sort. I would say that's definitely a non-negotiable, because I think that definitely, even if it's like a U.S. firm or just like, you know, a mainly U.S. area, I think, first of all, the U.S. in general is just made out of immigrants. So, you know, I think that it's important to incorporate what we are actually living into my daily life, into corporate spaces.
Right. I love that.
Yeah.
Carson, what are you doing? What are you not doing in corporate?
Well, for me, to piggyback off of both of Gabby and Zioni's responses, I am a very adaptable person. So I feel like the workplace that I need to be in, I definitely want to feel very authentically myself around the people I'm surrounded with. It has to be diverse. That's a non-negotiable for me. And I don't want to be putting in a lot of work that is not receiving me a good pay. My mental health has to be in check. And if that's not, that's a non-negotiable. So
I would say definitely like being around people that you're familiar with is good for your mental health too.
Yeah.
Just to connect back to what you're saying about wellness, because if you're constantly surrounded by people that don't think, you know, that are all the same and you're the only one that's different, you kind of shrink a little bit, which could be negative to your wellness.
right.
Yeah. I feel such a sense of peace knowing you all are going to be leading whatever it is you're going to lead. You're going to do it brilliantly. You're so poised. You're so smart. You're wise beyond your years. And it sounds like you have great discernment in who you choose to be friends with. If the three of you are friends, I hope you continue to support each other and encourage each other. I cannot have imagined how rich this conversation would have been, but my heart is full. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
You did it.